Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about a very important topic, and especially for beginners, for people who want to play the saxophone but you have no idea which saxophone to start playing with. So, there are really four main types of saxophones: the soprano, the alto, the tenor, and the baritone. Okay, but for now, let's take the baritone saxophone out of the equation. You can see I have one at the back of my room there. So unless you really fall in love with the sound of the baritone, then it will probably be okay to start on that. But let's take that out of the equation first, and later I'll share more about why I say that. So basically, with the three main types of saxophones, if you walk into any music shop, and especially if it's a shop with sales staff who are not saxophonists themselves, you will tend to hear that they will ask you to start playing the saxophone on the alto saxophone. So, really, I don't see any real reason why someone would have to start on the alto saxophone. Yeah, granted, it's easy to control, it's in the middle of the range, not too high, not too low, but I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on how we should decide on which saxophone to start off with first. And what I'm going to do later is I'm going to play for you all three, the soprano, alto, tenor, on the same music, and you can hear for yourselves which one you prefer. So, for me, the most important thing, if you are learning the saxophone for the first time, you are probably learning it because you've heard, people playing the saxophone beautifully, and that's what draws you to want to play the instrument. So, I would say, if someone listens to Kenny G their whole life and they want to play the saxophone because of Kenny G, there's a high chance that they've been hearing Kenny G's music on the soprano saxophone. So he does play alto and tenor as well and plays them great as well. But I would say 90% of the time you'll see Kenny G playing the soprano. So if let's say, you know which song of Kenny G's is the one that makes you want to play the saxophone, to be very honest, my advice would be just go for the soprano saxophone, because if you are a beginner, be it the soprano, alto, and tenor, it will all be slightly challenging to you. So, but the most important thing is if you like Kenny G's music and you want to eventually play the songs of his, learning the alto first, may not be the best option. Of course, you can learn the alto first and then eventually buy a soprano. But for me, I feel like you should just go with the one that you really love. There are some people who love listening to the tenor saxophone, because they feel it has a nice, richer, warmer sound. So I would say there's nothing wrong with learning on the tenor saxophone and getting used to it. So, I would say the first thing you want to think about is which saxophonist do you enjoy hearing? What is the type of music that drew you into wanting to learn the saxophone in the first place? And try to figure out what are those players playing. If you've been listening to alto players your whole life and that's the sound that you are drawn into, and then by all means learn on the alto. That will be a great start for you. So, the most important thing, that's the first step, to know why you're learning saxophone, who made you want to play the saxophone, and then do check out, are they playing the soprano, alto, tenor, or even baritone? If you have been listening to baritone saxophonists your whole life, you may want to consider starting on that as your first instrument. And of course, there'll be many people with differing opinions, but yeah, I'm just here to share what I feel. And then the second most important thing is the sound. And if it helps also if you know the type of music you're gonna play. And I think some of these saxophones just work better for certain genres and certain types of music. So, for example, if you like a high pitched, high frequency, sweet sounding instrument, the soprano might be for you. If you like the low, smoky, fat, warm tone, and then maybe the tenor will be good for you. And if you like something, not too high, not too low, the alto might be good for you. So, I think those are important considerations when you're deciding which one to learn. Of course, down the road, you can own all three or all four, as many as you want. There's even the sopranino saxophones or the bass saxophones, contrabass saxophones, but in the most generic common saxophones, these are your main three or four, so no harm, whichever one you choose. Of course, you can change your mind later, but I think it's very important, and a lot of you might be at this crossroads, to decide which one you're gonna learn on. So, And ultimately, there's really no right answer. And that's the thing, everyone views the saxophone differently, and it's essentially an extension of your own voice. If you like to hear the high frequency, the higher sounds, yeah, the soprano or alto will be great for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a backing track now, and I'm gonna play the soprano, alto, and tenor. There is no right or wrong answer here. I just wanted to help you guys who are trying to decide which saxophone would suit me the best, which one will give me the most joy and happiness when I'm deciding to learn the saxophone, and go towards that. And of course, you can always reach out to me, drop me an email, contact me, or leave a comment below and let me know, what type of music you like, who do you like listening to, and I'll probably be able to help you and give you a better idea of which saxophone you can start with. Of course, there are price considerations, and I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. I'm sure you guys are thinking of, should I buy a second-hand saxophone or brand new if I'm a beginner? Should I buy a vintage saxophone? Or, do I buy a cheap one first or a professional model straight away? I know you guys have all those questions. I'm going to answer them in subsequent videos. But for today's video, we're going to listen to all three saxophones, same player, same music, and you can see which one draws you in more. And I think that will give you a good clue as to which saxophone you might want to start learning with. So I'm going to start from the highest to the lowest: soprano, alto, then tenor. So hope you guys will enjoy this. So that was the soprano saxophone. So I tried to play throughout the whole range of the instrument to let you hear, even every single one of these instruments, they have a wide range from the high notes to the low notes. So the soprano, nice sweet sound, melodic sound. I love it when I'm playing love ballads. That comes in very, very handy, and I think it's a good instrument to play pop songs in. And of course, there are people who play jazz and classical on the soprano as well, but for me, every time I have a nice love ballad, I like to bring out the soprano. So I'm gonna play the alto next, exact same song, and yeah, see what you guys think. Right, so that was the alto saxophone, and yeah, the alto has been very, very popular with beginners. But unless you really are drawn into the sound and you love the alto saxophone, it doesn't mean that you have to always start on the alto, no matter what people say on the forums, etc. So, yeah, so decide based on the sound, and hopefully this will make you get closer to the right answer. So, lastly, I'm gonna play the tenor saxophone, and this one is going to have the warmest, richest sound, but very flexible as well for all genres. So hope you enjoy this. Right, so that was the tenor saxophone, and I really hope this video helps you if you're deciding which saxophone to start on. But even if you are already playing one of these saxophones and you're thinking, which one should I add to my collection next, hopefully me playing through all these three different saxophones for you, same player, same song, helps you to hear the timbre and the different things that each instrument can do. And yeah, feel free to let me know if you have any questions, put it down in the comments below. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to my page for more upcoming videos. And yeah, see you guys at the next one.